Photo booth owners are losing thousands on missing props. Every weekend, photo booth owners lose money for a reason nobody talks about. Not bad marketing, not weak equipment, not lack of bookings, props. Tiny missing items most people ignore. Glasses, signs, hats, frames quietly costing the industry thousands of dollars every single year. Because while clients see props as cheap accessories, smart photo booth owners know they're the difference between average photos and viral experiences people remember. And here's the frustrating part. Most props don't disappear by accident. They get stolen, broken, forgotten, or mixed into the chaos of crowded events where nobody notices what's missing until the next booking is already starting. Now some booth owners are building systems to track, protect, and optimize their prop collections like inventory businesses. Because the hidden cost of missing props isn't just replacement money, it's damaged client experience, lower repeat bookings, and a slow leak of profit most owners never calculate until it's too late. Most photo booth owners think they're losing money from the obvious things: expensive equipment, slow seasons, competition, advertising costs. But ask experienced operators what quietly drains profit over time, and many will point to something surprisingly small: props. Not because props are expensive individually, but because they disappear constantly. One missing pair of LED glasses here, a broken champagne sign there, a custom wedding prop never returned after an event. At first, it feels insignificant, until owners realize they've spent hundreds, sometimes thousands, replacing items they barely tracked in the first place. And the problem is getting worse, because modern photo booths aren't just cameras anymore. They're social media experience machines. Clients don't simply want photos, they want moments that feel fun, chaotic, aesthetic, and shareable online. And props are what create that reaction. Without them, photos feel flat, repetitive, forgettable. That's why event companies invest heavily into themed prop collections designed around weddings, luxury parties, birthdays, corporate events, baby showers, and TikTok-style viral trends. The more unique the experience feels, the more guests engage. But there's a hidden downside nobody talks about. The better the props are, the faster they disappear. And in crowded events, tracking missing items becomes almost impossible. Think about the environment: loud music, alcohol, hundreds of guests, constant movement, dark lighting, people carrying props across venues without realizing it. By the end of the night, operators are exhausted, trying to pack equipment quickly before venues shut down deadlines. Most don't have time to manually count every single item carefully, so props vanish silently. Again and again, some get accidentally thrown away with decorations. Others are packed into guests' bags. Some break during events and never get reported. And custom props, especially expensive branded ones, often disappear the fastest because guests treat them like souvenirs. For smaller photo booth businesses, this creates a frustrating cycle: props, lose props again, pot them again. Over time, those costs compound into a serious operational problem. And here's where things become more damaging than people realize. Missing props don't just cost replacement money, they affect client perception, because when a setup looks incomplete, guests notice immediately. Fewer props mean fewer interactions. Fewer interactions mean less energy around the booth. And less excitement means fewer people posting content online, which directly impacts word-of-mouth marketing for future bookings. In other words, weak prop management quietly damages the product itself. This is why some of the smartest photo booth operators are starting to treat props like inventory systems instead of decorations. They photograph full prop layouts before events, use categorized storage systems, label premium items, photos. They want moments that feel fun, chaotic, aesthetic, and shareable online. And props create that reaction. Without them, photos feel flat, repetitive, forgettable. That's why event companies invest into themed prop collections designed around weddings, luxury parties, birthdays, corporate events, baby showers, and TikTok viral trends. The more unique experience feels, the more guests engage. But there's a hidden downside nobody talks about. The better the props are, the faster they disappear. And in crowded events, tracking missing items becomes almost impossible. Think about the environment: loud music, alcohol, hundreds of guests, constant movement, dark lighting, people carrying props across venues without realizing it. By the end of the night, operators are exhausted, trying to pack equipment quickly before venues shut down deadlines. Most don't have time to manually count every item carefully, so props vanish silently. Again and again, some get accidentally away with decorations. Others are packed in guests' bags. Some break during events and never get reported. And custom props, especially expensive branded, often disappear the fastest because guests treat them like souvenirs. For smaller photo booth businesses, this creates a frustrating cycle. Lose props again, pot them again. Over time, those costs come to a serious operational problem. And here's where things become more damaging than people realize. Missing props don't just cost replacement money. They affect client perception, because when a setup looks incomplete, guests notice immediately. Fewer props mean fewer actions. Fewer interactions mean less energy in the booth. And less excitement means fewer people posting content online, which directly impacts word-of-mouth marketing for future bookings. In other words, weak prop management quality damages the product itself. That's why some of the smartest photo booth operators are starting props like inventory systems instead of decorations. They photograph full prop layouts before events, use categorized storage systems, label premium items, track themed collections separately. Some even use QR-based inventory methods for high values. Because once businesses scale beyond occasional parts into multiple weekly events, prop loss becomes operational leakage. And operations destroys margins, especially in an industry where profit already depends heavily on efficiency. But the reason prop loss is increasing. Social media changed guest behavior completely. 10 years ago, people took simple event photos and moved on. Now guests actively the funniest, most outrageous, or most aesthetic content possible because every event doubles as online content created. TikTok, Instagram stories, and Reels photo booths into mini entertainment stages, which means props are no longer accessories, they're content tools, and guests act with them far more aggressively than before. Cheap props break instantly under us. Premium props disappear faster because people love them more. Custom signs become keepsakes. And operators stuck running back-to-back events often don't discover missing inventory until the next client setup is already underway. That's when panic starts. Because suddenly a luxury wedding package missing half its premium props only hours before another booking. Now operators are replacements, printing emergency signs, or improvising setups hoping clients notice. And some do notice, which is why experienced owners increasingly believe the big to photo booth profitability isn't always competition, it's unmanaged chaos hidden inside business itself. The kind of small daily losses that harmless individually until they quietly consume thousands of time. The terrifying thing about small business losses, they rarely look dangerous in the beginning. For one massive disaster, it's small leaks, a missing prop after a wedding, 2 broken items after a birthday party, a luxury sign disappearing after a corporate event. Tiny loss repeated every weekend until owners suddenly realize they've spent thousands replacing inventory that was never properly protected. And in the photo booth industry, this problem becomes even worse. Props directly affect the customer experience itself. People don't remember megapixels. They remember energy. They remember laughing with giant glasses at 1 a.m., holding ridiculous signs with friends. Creating that instantly feel social media worthy. That emotional reaction is what we pay for, which means damaged or incomplete prop collections quietly reduce the entertainment value of the booth itself. And most owners estimate how much that impacts repeat business because today's event industry runs heavily on perception. One viral clip can generate bookings for months. One disappointing setup can damage reputation instantly. Experienced photo booth operators are becoming increasingly about operational systems, not just aesthetics. The smartest businesses now think like logistics companies. Props are categorized. Premium inventory is separated. Systems are optimized. Dust and breakdown workflows are standardized. Some companies even create event-ready kits. A themed package is counted, photographed, checked before leaving storage. Because once businesses start scaling to multiple events per week,